Everywhere you go to in Nigeria, from Kano to Lagos to Enugu, people are saying the same thing. They are crying about the high cost of living, which has gone very high just in a space of 1 month. It will surprise many that a 50 kg bag of rice that was sold for about 45,000 naira in January this year is now being sold for 70,000 naira, a whopping 25,000 naira addition to the price. What about flour that he used to make bread and other pastries? It was being sold for about 35,500 naira in January, and now it is being sold for 44,000 naira. 50 kg bag of sugar was being sold for about 62,000 naira in January. Now it is going for 75,000 naira. Cement, the same thing, 5,200 naira in January. Now it is approaching 7,000 naira. So it's very difficult to comprehend that in a space of 1 month, you have all these kind of increases. Looking at the huge price increases in a space of 1 month, one might be forced to think that maybe Tinubu is actually trying to send a message to Nigerians.
We reduce the purchasing power of the people. We can further slow down the economy. Let's widen the tax net.
If that's the case, when are Nigerians going to get that message and work on it? When are we going to reach our limit? We are very good at adjusting and saying that God will make it work, that things will be fine. But it's getting worse. Instead of always complaining, everywhere you turn, people are complaining and doing all sorts of things. Why not hit the streets and demand for your rights? Or are Nigerians waiting till a bag of rice is being sold for 200,000 naira or a bag of flour reaches 200,000 naira before they say, no, we can no longer take it, we must hit the streets? Even P2B predicted that hunger and hardship will force Nigerians at the end of the day.
The people will be with us. They will come to an end one day, because there are things I cannot tell. They're coming to an end because hunger, everything.
Now, it is no longer about who you voted for. People that campaigned for Tinubu are at the forefront now. They are condemning him, telling him to do something about the high cost of living in order to reduce the suffering of Nigerians. The government don't seem to care though. Just within 24 hours, the customs duty was increased to about 1,300 and something naira to $1. They just increased it to about 1,400 naira to $1. The customs duty increase will further drive up the price of many products because no merchant will eat the cost. They will simply pass it to the consumer. The customs duty payable on a 15-year-old car will be hovering around 3 million naira now. It still depends on the model. There are some model of cars that will cost more. So imagine paying 3 million naira for a 15-year-old car alone. Add that to the shipping cost and the purchasing price for the vehicle, and you can see that the middle class can no longer buy a 15-year-old vehicle used in America or in Europe. That's if the middle class exists again, because in the Nigeria of today, you are either poor or very rich. If you have a savings of 20 million naira today, it's actually worth nothing when you convert it to dollars. So it's time for Nigerians to stop complaining and stop suffering in silence and hit the streets. Maybe when they hit the streets, the government will reverse some of the policies that impoverishes them. Power concedes nothing except you make a demand. If you don't demand for something, the government will say, the hardship that people are complaining about doesn't exist, because if it truly exists, Nigerian streets should be filled with people demanding for a better life, demanding for a salary increase, because the minimum wage cannot even buy a 25 kg bag of rice. Yes, since the naira has been devalued by the government many times, even this increase in the customs duty is actually a form of devaluation of the naira. So the government should actually increase the salaries of workers to match up with the new realities, because 30,000 naira as a minimum wage is too poor. An average worker can't even survive on 30,000 naira for 1 week. And considering the fact that 30,000 naira used to exchange for more than $100 a few years ago, now is worth only $20.
Nigeria may give me pass as I do 1 year for my degree today. Now they give me pass make I go and go see my family. My way to as I come up for bush now. Now I reach park. They tell me say from here to my town 35,000. Now I come calculate am. 35,000 going and come back that is 70,000. And 50,000 now my salary wey they pay me for this month. But me I not give option again. No. I go back to bush.
It is time for Nigerians to hit the streets to demand for better living conditions, unless, only unless, that the suffering is not yet hitting hard. Of course, they are just starting. There are still 3 years left. Thanks for watching.